adventure. What's your poison? What's your pleasure? My city, she never sleeps. My city, she never weeps. My city, she keeps me alive. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, oh. Give it up for my city, oh, 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 oh. Give it up. The truth is so hard to find. With all the things that's going on, I lost track, I felt so strong. I got you on my mind, but something's been done wrong. Sometimes I've been thinking of what to make of me and my memories. Sometimes I've been thinking of, dreaming of what it could have been besides memories. 'Cause I still need you. It's lost in something. you going so fast tonight? Have you ever stopped beside the road to smell the rose of life? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you might end up missing out on life's short little song. She's saying, ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. You've got one life to live, don't let it go. You've got one life to live, don't let it go. Can you let go of it all tonight? Or will you decide to push on through and ignore the words inside? Take a breath now, don't hold it in too long, 'cause you'll find you're missing out a life's short little song. She's saying, ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live. Don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live.
Welcome everyone. Tonight we have it's VSGaming Premier Division. We have Goliath Gaming versus Unidentified. It's going to be an all-out brawl. It's going to be fantastic. I'm your host tonight, Cloudburst, and I'm joined with the awesome Gastlee. How are we doing tonight, my friend?
Hey dude, I'm doing great. Hey everybody.
It's fantastic, fantastic. Just before we get into it, of course, teams still getting into the lobby, grouping up together, and all that. Got a few questions for you to get our brains going, to get ready for the match.
Cool, let's get started.
Just to start off, between the two teams, I know that you know both these teams very well. I'm still getting quite acquainted with them, so to speak. But what would you say the two main differences are between the teams, and not just their playstyle, but also just the team structure and such? Just a bit of background.
I think this evening, Unidentified's a bit more of a younger team, and Goliath Gaming are, they've got more sort of seasoned competitive gamers in that. And I think the way they manage themselves is a little bit different, because Unidentified, I think, rely on their talent, being a bit younger. They've recently gotten sort of more of a structure into their team, but they rely on sort of their talent, their natural ability. And Goliath Gaming are more of a structured, matured, not to imply that Unidentified is immature, just because Goliath Gaming are a bit older.
Yeah.
They've got a bit more organization, I think, and they've got a bit more sort of personality management. They've got that down a little bit more than Unidentified may have.
Okay.
As I said, they've got their two new guys in, bringing that sort of maturity and sort of that seasoned veteranness into their team.
That's quite interesting. And would you say that the personalities of the two teams, would you say that it often shows in their playstyles as well?
I think so. Especially, for example, you take Mikelele. Normally, as a Zenyatta, I think somebody who'd been drilled a little bit more. Not to say that this is necessarily a bad move, but he flanks more than your average Zenyatta.
Okay.
And I think a more seasoned player would stick to more of an organizational structure, stick with the team and the strategy.
More of a traditional playstyle type of angle to take it.
Exactly. And then Mikelele likes to, become a little bit of a flanking Zenyatta, and it works for him sometimes. So, it's not, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying that younger mentality could be a contributing factor to why he does that. And that I think is the difference between the two teams.
That's an interesting take on it, and it's going to be interesting seeing how the two teams pan out with that in those regards. And moving from that, it actually ties in quite nicely with these current teams saying that Unidentified has gone through quite a bit of changes. They're a lot more of a younger team compared to Goliath Gaming. What have the previous season's standings been like, and what are the current standings between the two teams, more or less?
Okay, I know at Rage last year, Goliath Gaming came third when they
Okay,
were damage control.
that's
And
quite a good placement there.
yeah, and last season, I mean last leg, Unidentified placed fourth and Goliath Gaming placed third. And
Okay,
the difference, and Goliath Gaming were third by map win percentage, and because they lost one of their head-to-head games to another team that was tied for first. And Unidentified came fourth. They put down some good teams. They gave Eden a hell of a run, 3-2 with them. They pushed White Rabbit Gaming to 3-2.
oh wow,
Two
that's impressive.
CP reverse sweep. So they work hard, and they're really good. They're really talented.
That's great to see, and I can't wait to see that talent shine, especially as you said, they have quite a pure performance to their team. And I can see that the lobby has filled up actually. We have all the players here. Gonna see
One
exactly what that was quite quick, a lot quicker than what we've had in the past. So that's always good. Just gonna
You
see
will
what maps we
notice
get.
that somebody from the Goliath Gaming main roster is unable to make it. That is the Asgardian,
Mm.
and Hellhound is filling in for him, who's an excellent hit scan DPS and also really good Zenyatta Ana. And
Okay,
I think many people might recognize him from competitive CS:GO. Quite a legend.
that's very interesting seeing someone move from CS:GO through to Overwatch, as well as him playing Hitscan. We know there's Guardian. Last time we casted for them, played a very strong Hanzo, so Hellhound has
Yes.
quite a big boot to fill. But if you say he's quite a legend in CS:GO, I can imagine he's going to be able to fill those boots quite nicely.
Yes, I think he should. I think he should. I mean, every time I see Goliath Gaming bring out a sub, last time Z Lord couldn't make it, and they brought out Style, who's Hellhound's brother, I think.
Mm.
They, it was like Z Lord was never missing. You know, it was Style just filled his shoes so perfectly.
And I must say
So
that's important in a team to have that sort of redundancy from your sub players. That when they do need to come in, they can still perform as much as they would need with the full
yeah,
roster.
but I mean, it's so important because unfortunately, life happens to everybody. You can't always guarantee you can make every game. So having a sub you can rely on, especially in Premier Division where you actually can't afford to not be playing the best, having
Yeah,
that sort of sub you can rely on is really important.
extremely important. And moving on from that, once again, it flows in so nicely to my next question for you. Seeing as we have a sub and we've already discussed a bit about the players here, who would you say with this slight roster change? Who would you say are the players to watch for Goliath Gaming?
For Goliath Gaming, I'm very excited. I'm a main tank guy. I love watching main tanks. So I think Z Lord is going to be excellent to watch on the tank role, and Lazarus in the DPS role.
Okay, definitely the two that we'll be looking at the most then. And we've also seen some fantastic performances from Griff. He did get my MVP the last match of Goliath Gaming
Yeah,
that I did cast.
same.
And Zedlord also quite the aggressive tank main, so also going to be a nice one to watch there. And over on Unidentified, who are the players to watch there? Because we have seen some crazy things come out from Unidentified.
So what I'm gonna go with the opposite numbers unidentified from Goliath Gaming. I'm gonna say Sponge and Shapeshifter because watching them against 2CP, Shapeshifter just caused havoc and Sponge just non-stop popped off.
Yeah,
Squishy's also going to be somebody to take note of. His Zarya was powerful,
yeah.
but I think Sponge versus Lazarus and Shapeshifter versus Sea Lord are going to be the enabling battles. And I think Griff and Squishy, if Griff goes onto the off-tank role, he'll be up against Squishy, and I think that's also going to be a really fun battle to watch.
So we have quite a head-to-head between the players, not just the teams. So that's going to be
Yes.
really exciting to see. I mean, we've seen how much space Squishy's able to open up for Sponge previously, and Shapeshifter I can also see going right through that. And as we've discussed previously, Gutbuster is here. We've seen him in the support role, and he was playing extremely well as well on that Mercy. And how can we forget Makelele on the Zenyatta there, flank Zenyatta. It's going to be great.
I think it's also important to note how sort of seamlessly Squishy slotted into the off-tank role with the absence of Joker, who was normally the off-tank, and Squishy was the DPS.
Okay.
And he really sort of surpassed or exceeded expectations when he was playing Zarya last time. So I mean, I'm really excited to watch.
Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. And then just to close it off from my questions here is, we've spoken about the players to watch. We know what these two teams are bringing up against each other. But what would you say is the key factor that we should be, and what you are, most excited to see tonight?
For me, I hate to be like this, but it's going to be Shapeshifter versus Z-Lord. Watching them two just shields up in front of each other, and just, it's going to be whoever shield goes down, or whoever charges first, with the support of their off-tank, that battle is going to be key. And I think, for the most part, the results of that will determine who wins the overall fight.
And that's going to be such a cool one to see. I cannot, from my side, I cannot wait to see Z-Lord charging right in through the team, making space, and the rest of Goliath Gaming just leaping on top of Unidentified. And at the same time, seeing that happen, it's so exciting with Goliath Gaming's intense aggression. Seeing what Unidentified is able to do to pull it together and counter that is going to be, it's going to be a really great match, actually. I cannot wait for it to start.
How many times? Well, for me, I've seen Z-Lord. I love watching him. Watching the way that Goliath Gaming are just so hyper aggressive, and he, like, when you got a huge Reinhardt charging down the road with a Zarya bubble on him, it's so disrupting. It's so disruptive, and it just messes with your whole sort of composure. So he's also a very aggressive Reinhardt. I think probably a bit more than Shapeshifter, and it works for him 90% of the time. But you will see him getting caught out. This is a high-level game, and to succeed at this level, you have to be able to firstly avoid making your own positional errors or tactical errors, and you need to be able to effectively punish your opponents.
Definitely, and seeing what Unidentified can do to punish Goliath Gaming's extreme, as you said, I'm going to use it in quotes the way you said it, their hyper-aggressiveness. I think that is the key aspect of this one.
Yeah.
Just to see what they're able to do with it.
I honestly hope we don't see metacomps, because then it's just going to be Grav Dragon Strike from Unidentified, Grav Dragon Strike from Goliath Gaming, and then it's going to be up to Sponge and Lazarus to get those insta-kill headshots on Hanzo.
Well, I mean, if that's what it comes to, that's what it comes to. We'll have to see what they do. Of course, in Prem, we are playing to win. So if the metacomp is what works, they're going to have to play it. I would love to see innovation. By all means, I'm not saying I don't think we should see innovation. And if there were two teams that would bring innovation to the table, I think it could be these teams because of their very distinct playstyles.
I agree.
So...
So continue.
I don't even have anything more to continue with here. You're the analyst.
Okay, well, what I hope to see is that whenever one of these teams feels like they're sort of losing to the meta composition, I want to see them. I'm sure both teams have planned for it, because sometimes you're just getting outplayed with the same strategy. So I would imagine that both of these teams in the top 4 in South Africa by last leg standings have the ability and have practiced a counter composition. I know the other two teams probably have, in terms of White Rabbit and Eden. So Goliath Gaming and Unidentified are really going to need to have their sort of pocket strategies to counter and to sort of untilt themselves.
And untilt, we've seen, is something that's been so important, and so many teams have not quite been able to latch onto exactly what needs to be done there. So if there is a case where one team is tilted, I'm excited to see, as you said, what pocket picks they can bring out, what pocket strategy they have to really bring it back. And from your side, what do you think is a pocket strategy to go for to fight against this current meta with your Gravitron Dragon Strike?
I think it's definitely going to be a Furrow. And a Junkrat, possibly.
Okay.
Sorry, I've got both kittens climbing up my legs.
So Farah, Junkrat, get that AoE in, pop off with as much damage, and as we've seen before, if people are using the Gravitron Dragon Strike combo, you definitely need to have a Zenyatta on your team to counteract that with Transcendence, and you need to not be trigger happy on the Transcendence either. Do you think that's going to be an important one, especially knowing Mikelele being so proficient on that Zenyatta?
The thing is, it depends how badly they need to win the fight. If the Transcendence is something you need for the win, then sure. You know, use it, and if it's going to win you the fight, could be worth keeping if you're about to cap a point. But if you can help it, not having that Transcendence is pretty much guaranteed death.
Okay.
It's a guaranteed team wipe.
So
okay, they're almost done with maps, and my timer is on 2 minutes. So this could actually work out pretty well.
Could work out pretty well indeed, and in no time, for you viewers, we will be having VSGaming's premier match for the night. It is Goliath Gaming versus Unidentified. As you can see on the screen, it is going to be an exciting match. And both Gastlee and I cannot wait whatsoever.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the most exciting matches of the season, in my opinion. I think any match between top 4 teams, even top 5 teams, is going to be incredible.
Great indeed, and we have more exciting ones coming up as well. So it's just going to be a back-to-back massive excitement coming through. Which, what more could you want in esports?
Yeah. This is pretty much the peak of South playing Overwatch. I mean, this is as good as it gets with regards to sort of the expression that both of these teams show. Like, their skilled players are really going to put on a show, because this is one of their 3 toughest challenges for both teams. One of the 3 toughest challenges this leg. And if you can sort of win this challenge, if you can match it, it really makes a big statement, and that's going to cause the other 2 teams, namely White Rabbit Gaming and Energy Esports, it's going to cause them to maybe shake a little bit, maybe have to up their game.
Shaking their boots a bit and get ready for the underdogs of the top 4.
Okay, 20 seconds from you. Sorry, 15.
It's cool. You can go ahead, and I'll head up the fort here.
Okay, I'll be back.
Teams are just about to finish up their maps. Any minute now. Let's just make sure they don't forget to send them. Okay, I do have confirmation on the maps. Of course, our forced map, which is forced by the rules for this leg, is Oasis. Then we'll be moving over to King's Row, Lijiang Tower, Route 66, and we'll be ending up on Dorado. I could definitely see this one going to 5 maps, so we're gonna have to see exactly what they go for here.
I definitely think this is going to be a 5-map game. I think nerfs will play a part. I think sort of, even when you're winning, you need to relax and manage that, and when you're losing, you need to maybe up your game a bit, but still manage your composure throughout.
Yeah, I think
And if both teams can do that,
I think composure is going to be a super important factor going into this game. And depending on how the two teams can deal with their composure, be it a win, be it a loss, you don't want to get overconfident. You don't want to be caught in that tilt zone that teams can get into. So, really, these two teams need to bring it out properly.
yeah, and the maps are excellent. It's going to allow for some Widowmaker play, which could be fantastic. I know Lazarus is a great Widow. I know Z-Lord's a great Widow, and I'm fairly confident Hellhound could probably play Widow. But Sponge is a good Widow. I think Squishy is a good Widowmaker. So, you know, we got excellent Hanzos littering both teams. Good tanks. The supports, Unidentified, showed us some great play. Goliath Gaming shows flexibility in the supports. They've got the Annas and Yada pocket picks. There we see a Mercy. So I think we're going to see a lot of different compositions this map. And I think we're going to see huge fights. I don't think there'll be small little skirmishes. I think every fight will be a big fight.
That is something I am looking forward to. You know how I feel about big fights. I'm going to get very loud.
Yeah,
and
that's your job.
Over here, Unidentified ready. Gonna see if Goliath Gaming is ready any second now.
Okay, Cloudburst. Oh, we muted.
Welcome to Oasis.
Welcome back everyone, we're on map 1 now. Goliath Gaming versus Unidentified VSGaming Premier Division. As I've said earlier, I'm your host Cloudburst and I'm joined with Gastlee, and this is going to be such an awesome match. What do you think of the team comps, Gastlee, coming through this?
Well, we see Goliath Gaming already rocking the metacom. Squishy on the Junkrat I think is going to do quite well to help their case for countering it. So we're just going to have to see who's got a better execution.
Execution also important. Here we have it. Already just right away just pumping out as much damage as they can, and we have Sigs actually go very low from the very get-go. And that is a rhyme I am extremely happy about. Here we go, point unlocking in the next 3 seconds. These two teams are going to be fighting relentlessly to get this one. Pac-Man goes low, Shapeshifter already pushing forward quite nicely. And here we have it. Unidentified picking up the point first before Goliath Gaming, and picking up 4 kills as well in the process, which is definitely something that they wanted to start off with.
With the exception of Mikelele, I think Unidentified took that fight quite well. They didn't give up any point percentage. And so far, they're in the lead with the Ultimate Economy battle.
Ultimate Economy is so important, especially with Sponge on the Dragon Strike as well as Lazarus. Depending how they use this one, of course Gutbuster is also sitting with it. There we go, Dragon Strike coming out, first one identified as well as a Riptire, picking up Griff so nicely there. Unidentified was still the one with the point here. Zedlord trying to just apply some pressure, he does get taken out. I assume he was going for the reset there, Gastlee.
That's alright, you know, they didn't spend anything there, they forced 2 offensive ultimates out of Unidentified, so I think they'll probably be happy with the result of that, except for losing a bit of percentage.
I think in this case, not too much of a problem losing a bit of percentage, they're going to be coming back in full force. Though having Hellhound down is not quite what they want. Earthshatter ready on Zedlord. But the same for Shapeshifter, Gutbuster, and Mikelele. Can't wait to see Zedlord.
Getting picked early is something they need to avoid, because it kills minimum 8% off the round clock.
And here we go. Dragon Strike straight away from Goliath Gaming. Picks up Gutbuster in the back line, but Earthshatter does come out from Shapeshifter, and here's a grab as well. With the combo, it picks up 2. Mikelele is also the one going down. Sponge and Sig's really working well together there. Lagbeast is trying to pick up Sponge, but Sponge is sneaky on the ground there, and Lazarus on the point ends up taking him down, but only Lazarus on the point's not where he wants to be. Squishy and Shapeshifter are right on top of him there. Here's Riptire coming from Squishy, just goes straight for Pac-Man, who's trying to get onto the point quite badly. We are in overtime now, and there we go. Grav keeps the point, but it's already over there for Unidentified. Gastlee, that was pretty damn quick.
I'm not 100% sure what happened there, but I think that because Hellhound as Zenyatta was on the other side of that room divider, I think he wasn't able to heal the rest of his teammates because they didn't have the Transcendence line of sight.
Oh, okay. That's a massive hindrance.
I'm not 100% sure, it's just a guess, but if that was the case, then that's not even really that poor positioning, that's just pretty unlucky. I think.
And sometimes luck is exactly what you need to come out ahead in a match like this.
And now, Unidentified have forced Goliath Gaming off the Brigitte comp, which I think was their intention initially.
Tensions definitely worked out for them here. Hellhound switching over to the Farah as well as Squishy. And they're just brawling it in the air there. Lots of shots not quite connecting. We can see Squishy's just focusing on Hellhound, which they managed to take down with the help of Sponge. Here we go. Point is still contested. Lazarus goes down to Sponge, but he's getting revived. And over here, Shapeshifter charging in, almost picks up Lazarus, but doesn't quite manage to get him, and Lazarus picks up the kill there. Lagbeast just trying to keep his team alive, hiding as much as he can, and Squishy goes down right in front of him. Hellhound still on the top line here, just trying to get it, but Hellhound getting low. Squishy dealing damage. Lagbeast is the one to end up going down from Shapeshifter, who's just at the bottom here, applying as much pressure as possible. He's getting slammed against the wall against Z-Lord. And there we have it! He just tried to Earthshatter, he's on 0% now, didn't go off! That is not what he wanted whatsoever!
Shapeshifter's not going to be happy with that.
And especially with Zedlord, really, he's already back up on his. This is not looking good for Unidentified now, especially with Goliath Gaming. Probably going to get to over 15% on the point here.
Yep.
See if Sponge is able to pull out a really nice Dragon Strike. Mikelele hitting a lot of damage there. Junkrat applying a lot of pressure from Lazarus' side on Goliath Gaming. But they're so split up. Sponge doesn't even have a good spot to throw this Dragon Strike right now. There we go, Shapeshift on top of it. There's a charge. Z-Lord doing work there, and Pac-Man using Sound Barrier just to keep everyone alive just a little bit longer. Siggs is about to fall, ends up going down to Z-Lord's hands. Here we have Gutbuster just going really aggressive to get Sigs back up, which could be very important because now they do have the ultimate ready with each other. Here is the combo, Graviton Surge.
I feel like Squishy should have maybe held on to that ultimate a little bit more because they have a Graviton coming up. Although they could just be waiting for the wombo combo to sort everything out.
That's a very high possibility, but Pac-Man not having a sound barrier up. There we go, here's the grab coming. Is it followed up? It is followed up beautifully. Picking up 3 players and Squishy following up, but Lazarus really comes back against Gutbuster and Shapeshifter, trying to just get back a bit. But the point is over to Unidentified. Tell me what you've seen, Gastlee.
Okay, well, I think that combo sort of covered up Squishy's maybe trigger happiness on the Pharaoh ultimate, but I think that also identifies the key problem between, or, you know, having a Zenyatta and not having a Zenyatta against that wombo combo.
Indeed, and Z-Lord just charging right in there. Shapeshifter trying to match him with that, but Gutbust keeping him alive. And here we have a Gravitron from Goliath Gaming, followed up with a Rocket Barrage into Shapeshifter, Earth Shattering, and it just wasn't enough to keep it there. Z-Lord still on the point, looking happy with that 50%, and wow, Squishy just went flying from that hammer. This is looking pretty good. They're on 85% now. Unidentified just don't have it back yet.
See, Hellhound also just using that Pharaoh ultimate, it also called Squishy's attention away. I think Unidentified needed maybe sort of, I think they might have been a little overconfident.
Even if it is overconfidence, it does seem to be doing quite a lot of work, and Hellhound really doing as much as he can. Squishy's Rocket Barrage is really the one to steal the show though. He goes down at the end of it all. And so does Hellhound, Lag Beast, and Pac-Man. Last one's there. Revive on Z-Lord. He goes down from Sigs before he can get it. This is not looking good for Goliath Gaming right now.
That was some really good play from Unidentified and sort of proved me wrong. Oh, that's a big stagger from Sponge.
Picking that one up from Sponge. Absolutely fantastic. He does have Dragon Strike ready. Sigs is on 93% towards the Graviton Surge. They might just have this one for the next fight. I'm actually almost sure they'll definitely have it. You know, here from Lazarus. Here comes the Riptide. Can he get the pick he needs from it? He does. He picks up Squishy. That allows them access from the air. What is Sponge and Sigs going to do about it? Earth Shatter comes from Z-Lord, doesn't pick up enough. And here we go, Sigs picking up the grab. Oh, Sponge goes down off the map from Hellhound. I wish I caught that. But Goliath Gaming bring it back, and Hellhound hitting Squishy with such a smooth rocket. Absolutely fantastic from Goliath Gaming.
What happened there was so unfortunate. The wombo combo was there. And right as Sponge tried to shoot the Dragon Strike, Hellhound shot his Pharaoh boot and pushed him off the map.
Oh,
and he died before the Dragon Strike could go off due to falling.
Oh, absolutely fantastic.
You see, Unidentified had such a dominant first round there, they really didn't give Goliath Gaming a chance. And now Goliath Gaming have come back with also a dominant round, not quite as much as Unidentified, but I think now both teams have sort of realized that the other teams come here to play seriously, and you know, now, as I was saying earlier, now is not the time to be overconfident.
Not at all. You can see they've sussed each other out a bit, and quite spicy here is Squishy on the Genji, Sponge on the Doomfist. They definitely know that Goliath Gaming did not want to pick the Brigitte here, and they probably played to that.
Shapeshifter making my dreams come true, picking that Winston.
And we're gonna have to see what Sponge can do this deep in. He's trying to knock him off. He does get it! Z-Lord off the map from Sponge! This is absolutely fantastic! And so much happening on the other side of this. Goliath Gaming's Hellhound gets taken out by Squishy. This is fantastic. I love seeing this Lag Beast also getting picked up. I did not expect to see a comp such as this come out from Unidentified, but it is making me so happy seeing this happen.
Unidentified have always teased us with the possibility of them playing an excellent dive composition. And I don't think I've ever actually seen them do it. And watching it now has really just made me happy. They're really coordinating their dives here, and they're causing the disruption you expect from a dive composition.
indeed, but the Brigitte is coming up on Lag Beast here. He's already doing a ton of work, just trying to get rid of these tanks. He picks up Shapeshifter. We do have a Dragon Strike coming in from Squishy. How much can he get from it? He picks up 2, which is absolutely fantastic. And not really any else left on the table to come through here. But Griff so ready. Graviton Surge almost up. But not really much of the team to combo with it away from the self-destruct. But they're getting this point back.
Honestly, they didn't lose too many ultimates there, unidentified, to actually get that 30% of the point. Oh, and now they're going to match the metacom. And they're showing really nice adaptiveness in that they're able to understand that that specific dive comp is just not going to work for them so well anymore.
We have a lot of hero changes here, which is fantastic to see. Squishy just going right in there, and so is Lagbeast. This is just an all-out brawl. And Goliath Gaming come out on top. They even have the self-destruct afterwards just to make sure, in case anyone managed to escape that. But of course, from Unidentified, they're going to be coming back up together.
Goliath Gaming threw almost everything at that, except their support ultimates, which they didn't have. But I think they maybe overcommitted some things, specifically from Z-Lord.
Yeah, quite a big self-destruct there.
They've allowed the ultimate economy battle to shift in Unidentified's favor. Oh, big pick from Hellhound.
Yeah, picking up Sponge is really good for them. Of course, Sponge has to get all the way back. And here we have full charge over on 6. What are they going to be able to do about this? Sponge is back. He does have the Dragon Strike. Pops it off quite nicely just into the team there, but it doesn't look like it's picking anyone up just yet, but he picks up Lagbeast anyways. The rest of his team not looking very healthy at all. And Goliath Gaming showing quite a bit of dominance here.
Yeah. Okay, Squishy moving on to the Reaper, just to put a little bit more damage into that triple tank composition. Goliath Gaming not actually committing to a DPS, they're just trying to outvalue Unidentified here.
Seems to be working for them for now, but Squishy just going straight in. However, we have an Earth Shatter from Z-Lord, self-destruct as well. They do not want them anywhere near this point, and Dragon Strike coming out from Squishy. He jumps into the back line onto the point, but he's taking so much damage. Mike Lele picking up Pac-Man, but it's not enough. He's just transcending on the point, trying to stall some time. Z-Lord just charges him out of there, doesn't want him anywhere near it. They just can't make it. First map over to Goliath Gaming.
That was really well played from Goliath Gaming. I found that once they swapped to the other composition, I feel like Unidentified's mindset going in there could have been, I'm no expert going against triple tank, triple support, but I think there was just sort of there's too much healing and too much HP. There's such a big HP pool that I don't know if another DPS is the answer. I think in that situation it might be better to sort of brawl into that comp.
Yeah.
I don't think Unidentified's comp was wrong. I think they either needed to fully commit to out damaging them, or they needed to go into the same and match their value with a trip tank of their own, possibly.
I must say,
they played really well.
Yeah, I think both teams played exceptionally well there. I must say something I really enjoyed was seeing the amount of times they swapped compositions there. They tried to match each other consistently. And I think that's really something that Overwatch wanted to be from the start. And now with this current meta where we are, you're able to do that. The previous metas, from what I've spectated, it's been a lot of, this is the way you should play, stick to these compositions, and this is how you're going to win. But now you're really able to get creative with how you play and how you fight against those messes, which, this is my opinion, I would like to hear it from you. Do you think I'm on the right track is what I'm saying here?
Yes, I do, but I think if you look at the specific match
Interesting one. This is a lot of changes.
Lazarus looking to counter snipe the Hanzo and sort of counter the Farah. Oof, close one.
Just missed that one. If he got that on Gutbuster, would have put them quite nicely ahead. But he's looking for Squishy. Knows Squishy's going to be in the air. Wants to take him out as soon as possible. Gets a tag, but doesn't take him down. Wanted the headshot, didn't quite get it. And there we go. Z-Lord with the Earth Shatter charges right into Mikelele. That is fantastic. But Grav coming out from Griff. Gets taken out from Sponge, but Xenord's the one to really seal the deal.
Okay, so Lazarus got a hook shot on the Mercy there that was just special. And immediately afterwards was able to take out Farah.
Oh no, it took out a Sponge.
No one can hide.
But now, look what
Squishy.
Unidentified have done. They've swapped to the Metacom to sort of counter the range that Widowmaker has. And I think this might force Goliath Gaming to swap up their composition if they can't handle this, because they don't have a good counter. They don't have a combo with the Zarya at the moment.
Without a combo coming through from Grip, it's going to be a bit difficult on them. Hellhound is quite close though. And over here,
it's a
Grab
big
coming
shadow.
out from Sigs, as well as the Dragon Strike over from Sponge, picking up a lot, although most of it went to Squishy. Hellhound does not last much longer there.
Team kill.
And here we go, team kill. Beautiful.
Really good pushing, really good counter picking from Unidentified. I really like that they've gone back to the meta. But I think from Squishy's point of view, Sponge's point of view, he'll charge it up quickly. But I think the Graviton might have been a little bit of an overcommit there. And Lazarus going on to the main now. I think more to just stall point time.
Yeah, you can see, usually when someone goes to the main, it's almost like, yeah, you're gonna get the point, but we're gonna make you work for it. Although he goes down from Sponge.
Oh,
Sponge is
popping
picking.
off.
Oh, he goes down himself though due to the Earth Shatter. Ziggs has to back off with his team. Lazarus just in the front here, trying to take out as much as he can, but Mikelele just doing it, just making it through.
Big picks for Grip there. They needed this. Unidentified were pushing quite hard, and I think Goliath Gaming could have really used this break. Squishy gone on. Oh, there's going to be a Widowmaker fight here. That's very exciting. Squishy. I've never seen Squishy or Widowmaker, so
Ooh, wow.
let's see what he has.
Wow, with Sponge, they work well together to take out Hellhound. And here we have it, he's trying to just do a bit more. Oh, there we go! Squishy popping off alongside Sponge! And Lazarus just comes right back. But Mikelele is the one to take it. What a back and forth!
Showing who the real Widowmaker is, Mikelele.
Indeed, and Shapeshifter with the Earthshatter to take out Griff, allowing for more to go. Lagbeast is on the point on the Brigitte. Lazarus switching over to the Tracer, but Sponge wants none of that.
Sponge is just tearing them apart.
Tearing
Sponge
them
is
apart
popping
completely.
off. Wow, that was a really
Absolutely
good push from
fantastic.
Unidentified.
That indeed, and I must say, I think having that Widow battle alongside Sponge over there on the Hanzo, and Mikelele just finishing that I would say it was a bit of a skirmish going on in the middle of the fight.
Yeah.
And
From
I just want to get that clipped and just put it everywhere. That was amazing.
we can grab it and rewatch the VOD afterwards.
That's something you just want to rewatch and you're like, okay, wait, I think I saw something more. Let me rewatch it again. And then, wait, there's more though. And you just keep watching it.
I just want to say, to finish a map with 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock against a team that historically has been better than you is commendable from Unidentified. And I think after that push, they're going to be coming into this defensive round with so much confidence that Goliath Gaming are really going to have to do a lot of work to unseat them, capture this point, and finish. I think they'd be lucky to finish close to the time Unidentified have. I think Unidentified were just looking on fire, and they showed an adaptiveness that Goliath Gaming weren't quite able to match, and I think that gave them a clear advantage in that attacking round.
I felt alive.
Definitely, but from your side, do you think that for example, the defender has a bit of a, what can I say, disadvantage to adapt to what the attackers are bringing, because they have to, of course, run back to spawn compared to the attackers always running in?
It depends where, but I think yes. And I also think when you're attacking, you control the pace of the game. You know, at this level, Unidentified chooses when to engage. They choose when to push. Obviously, you're always under a bit of pressure because of the clock. But I think they have the advantage in that when something's not working, they sort of determine
Yeah.
when to swap, and then I think attacking, you force the defensive team to play reactively. So when it comes to the ultimate economy battle, I think the attacking team is always at a little bit of an advantage because they have a bit more ability to get that poke in and sort of decide how they want to initiate, whereas a defending team, you're pretty static in with regards to how sort of far you can explore and your defensive possibilities.
Definitely, and here we have it. Coming right out the gate, Goliath Gaming, Lazarus on the Widowmaker already, dealing with quite a bit of projectiles coming his way. Hellhound looking pretty scathed. Pac-Man wants to get right back to that. Hellhound needs to peek in a way that he doesn't just get taken out from Sponge and Michaelele, because they are just waiting for him to make a mistake. And Zelo taking so much damage so quickly, his shield's almost down as well.
I know they have a Pharah here, but I feel like Pharah's there to disrupt and draw the focus so that Lazarus can actually pop off, because I think he's going to be the difference maker for them today. He's their star.
And it seems to be working for them, although Squishy and Shapeshifter have other plans. Lazarus picks up Sponge. Shapeshifter's just trying to deal with Hellhound in the air here. So many different angles he has to defend from. Unidentified pushes them back. Over here, as you were saying, with in the last round, over here on King's Row, Michaelele stayed on the point for a little bit longer, but Goliath Gaming really just getting back, regrouping, and coming back as a team. They don't want to waste any time at all. Unidentified playing around Lazarus and the Widowmaker so well.
Yeah, but Goliath Gaming also forced to play around the
Wow! Absolutely massive from Z-Lord, popping that Earth Shatter and picking up 2 from a single charge and a hit. He is trapped at the moment. That's
Behind you like beast.
Oh wow. This is Goliath Game coming back, but Shapeshifter looks like he wants to move forward, but sees the whole team's there now and the rest of his team didn't quite make it. Lag Beast having rally up. It's pretty nice. It's getting ready to heal up Hellhound.
Unidentified can be happy with that defense. Pretty much a similar one to what they had. I feel like Lazarus wasn't as effective as they'd hoped, and you're gonna have to give that to the tank line and Laggies to how they captured that point.
Yeah. And that was definitely the aggression that we've spoken about that Goliath Gaming has, playing to it very nicely. And Lazarus just getting hit so often from Michaelele, just that is absolutely insane. How is he doing so much on this Zenyatta? He's going to be having the ult up very soon as well.
I'm excited to see.
Lazarus.
I was about to say that.
There we go. Earth Shatter coming out from Shapeshifter. What can their team conversion from this? Lagby's popping Rally just to keep everyone alive. Shapeshifter going in quite deep there with Sigs. And here we have 4 of them. Gravitron comes up, but just back from Z-Lord, throwing out that Earth Shatter. Gravitron doesn't actually do anything for them, and Sponge is not able to combo it. Lazarus picking up Squishy, almost going down himself to Sponge. He keeps it going. Can he get Sigs? Does pick up Sigs! That was such a nice headshot.
They need to show Lazarus a bit more respect. I think possibly the confidence from their attacking round is causing them to not give the star of Goliath Gaming sort of the space and respect that he's presently commanding. He's showing us that.
Wow! Z-Lord going in there, Shapeshifter picking up 2. We do have a Dragon Strike coming through as well, but Lazarus picks up Shapeshifter, and he's just going to be popping off on headshots during that Gravitron Surge. Michaelele countering that nicely with the Transcendence. Lazarus now having to deal with Squishy. Quite a brawl alongside Sigs. Squishy gets the high ground, trying to pick up Pac-Man, doesn't quite find it. And he's just stuck here. He's in enemy territory right now. That is not somewhere you want to be whatsoever.
Griff was just doing work there.
As we've seen, Griff an extremely good Zarya. Able to apply the pressure, open the space, keep the team alive, do what Zaryas need to do.
No one can hide from my sight.
Over here, Lazarus getting ready with this.
Oh,
What was
no!
that shot? What even was that? Lazarus!
I was watching that from Squishy's perspective.
Oh my word! Did he even have a chance? I'm in absolute awe. I can barely go on. And there we go, Z-Lord's aggression charging right in there. Earth Shatter just from Michaelele gets him. Which is very good. Keeping that Transcendence away from them. Ziggs getting stunned here from the Brigitte. Staying alive though. Getting a lot of charge as well. Lag Beast going off with that rally. Wanting to pick up Gutbuster right away. Going so deep. Manages to get him. What even is this Brigitte?
I don't... Oh wow. Some big picks from Unidentified there.
Extremely big. Squishy going over onto this Genji, but really playing it so well, even into a Brigitte, which you usually don't want to quite see happen. But he gets taken out from Griff mid-dash. Lag Beast running back. Lazarus still at the point. I just love these picks coming in from Unidentified. Quite the brawl. Live Gaming looking to be quite in the advantage here. Michaelele switching over to Lucio, trying to be really slippery, succeeding at it as well. Z-Lord just swinging. There we go. There is a grab, but Live Gaming are not getting caught into this one. Manages to get a pin of Michaelele charging back so far.
I don't understand.
Hellhound ready as well with that dead eye.
All of these fights look like Unidentified won them. Every single one. I'm like, cool, Unidentified's one. They've taken the, they've defended well, and then it's always, I think they're just not cleaning up probably well enough, because it's always like a there are two stragglers, and it's usually Zarya or Reinhardt with Lazarus, and I don't think they're really showing us the adaptiveness they showed us in the first round. And I think if they can find that again, they'll come out on top here.
Gonna have to see what they can do going through here. We do have a 3-point to a 3-point between Goliath Gaming and Unidentified. VSGaming Premier Division. This is only the second map. Can you believe it? This amount of action on a second map. That's absolutely crazy.
There's so much pressure coming from both teams. I can imagine both sides are feeling it. Goliath Gaming, again, 2 minutes in the time bank. That's pretty good. And that's pretty much how long Unidentified defended for when they were defending previously. So if they can drain that, they'll have closer to 3 minutes to just get a third of the point.
Not much time at all. How far can Goliath Gaming push this through Unidentified's defense, which we've seen being able to really hold them back quite a lot. Once again, Hellhound going over to the Farah. Lazarus over on the Doomfist. Squishy picking up a key target to them getting through this. Looks like they want to back off a bit.
Yeah,
Definitely
that's going
right
to drain
move.
a good amount of time.
Sponge already over there on 50%. He's probably hoping for a bit more than just 50.
Yeah, Lazarus isn't getting the charge I think he'd like. The team isn't able to brawl presently, so Lazarus can't get close.
Oh wow, but Lazarus just diving onto Sponge. Playing it a bit safe after that dive. And Squishy's already ready with this, with the Riptide. Pac-Man going down, Hellhound as well. Wow, Squishy, calm down. I absolutely love the way he's using his grenades so nicely for his team, keeping all of those heroes that are just diving right onto their team off of his team.
And that's 2/3 of Goliath Gaming's time gone. They
Only
got 30 seconds
on the
left.
clock. This is probably the last push they can get out of this time.
And they've only got one big ultimate coming up. And Doomfist. That's their combo opportunity, just those two.
Here it comes. Here's the combo opportunity they were hoping for. Can he get it in? Only picks up one from it. That's not what they wanted. They wanted a lot more than that. Not being able to get that is absolutely terrible for them. Unidentified really returning the favor once again with that Dragon Strike. Lag Beast popping Rally right away. Same for Pac-Man, popping off with the Valkyrie, trying to keep first team alive. Over here, they're actually managing to do it.
They're just not dealing with Lazarus. Once again, they opened that fight with 2 kills on an off-tank and Lag Beast on Brigitte. And by all means, you should be cleaning up the rest of that fight. They committed a transcendence to that. I just feel like they need to be a little bit more clinical. They need to be able to claim these targets when they get low, and I think they might be looking at the fight as being won before it actually is.
Wow, huge play coming out from Lazarus, trying to pick up Sponge, but managed to get Gutbuster. That's like, you're aiming for the moon, and you hit the star right next to the moon. That's absolutely fantastic coming from Lazarus, diving in there, although using up an ultimate.
Especially being a bit cheeky.
Here we have the grab coming out from Unidentified, but there is no really strong follow-up there. And in the backline, Squishy does go down to Hellhound over on the Farah. And during that, Zelo also picking up Siggs in the front.
Siggs' new Sponge was coming up on his Dragon Strike, and he still committed the grab. I think maybe there's a bit of a communication issue they need to work on. But this is still doable from them.
Over here. Wow!
Ooh, big.
Ooh, not on the point there.
That's a zoning Dragon Strike, where you throw it just to scare the other team away, and I think Goliath Gaming maybe had a communication issue there. Where
That was also quite difficult from them, because I imagine they wouldn't want to lose any of their players at that point. So
of
they
course,
probably...
but I'd rather lose a player than the point.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay, this is very winnable from Unidentified. I think if they come out with good aggression, good coordination, I think this map's theirs.
Now let's see what they're able to do, especially with Goliath Gaming. Lazarus once again on that Widowmaker, and we've seen it work. We have seen absolute magic come out of Lazarus with these shots.
They need to stay grouped up here. They need to sort of stick to the idea behind this composition. They need to stay in a brawl mode. And if they do that, then sure, they're playing into Junkrat's hands, but they've also got Squishy, who's just going to non-stop build charge off Hellhound. So I honestly think that Unidentified look a bit stronger here coming out of the gate with regards to their hero composition. But I think this game will largely depend on Lazarus's ability to get picks and Sponge and Shapeshifter's ability to get picks.
Ooh, Lazarus not being able to get an important pick, as you were just saying how important it is for Lazarus to get them. He does manage to get a headshot, but Sponge is just watching Lazarus.
Tagged.
Tagged, but not quite there. And there's just such a big brawl on the points as well during this fight between the two snipers on either side. Zelo just so deep in there. However, he manages to get out by the skin of his teeth. Shapeshifter looking so dominant right now.
Ooh, big picks.
Huge picks coming from Sponge here.
Sponge just showing us why he's the star. Such great play from him as Hanzo. Shapeshifter and Squishy just completely opening up Goliath Gaming for him to get picks as he likes.
Which is super, super important, seeing Sponge doing that. Hold them back so far.
And Squishy's matching his ultimate charge on Azaria, so I think he's going to be really stoked with his play.
Yeah, seeing Sponge and Squishy right now hop off with the Gravitron into the Dragon Strike. I do not know how they're going to get back to it. And Squishy picking up Lazarus even though he's so far in the back there. Oh, Lazarus did not want to go down. This is the last thing Goliath...
I think Lag Beast is too far away to res. See, Goliath Gaming have nothing to counter this with. One wombo combo and they win the game. The map.
You can see, here it is. Here's the wombo combo coming through. Picking up one, picking up two. This allows them so much, and
Oh,
Shapeshift
no!
goes! Absolutely fantastic Earth Shadow, allowing for space to pick up Lazarus in the sky as well. Unidentified are playing it to the outs. This is what we came to see tonight. And here we have it.
Just such big plays from Unidentified there. I'm so happy that they've come to the table and showed cool we can take our map now.
Definitely pulling it out so nicely there. What a back and forth. That, as you said it before, that felt like a third map. I mean, we said that for the first map, but that did not feel like a second map level of play. And
Shapeshift, just huge plays.
absolutely massive, and just allowing Sponge that space as well after making such a nice Earth Shadow and a charge.
I think they found their golden composition with this. This should be their go-to meta comp. Squishy apologizing that he can't Widow. Because Lazarus, I think, clearly had the upper hand in the Widowmaker duels. But because Squishy was pulling away Sponge's attention, the whole Goliath game just tilting a little bit, just rage quit.
Very understandable tilt too, though, because that was an intense battle that they fought to their outs. They just weren't quite able to grasp it, and I mean, they probably feel like that was actually stolen from them from Unidentified.
I don't know. Unidentified looked like they were going to win that map from the attacking round, in my opinion. I just saw so much, I don't know the correct word, bravado coming off them when they were attacking. They just didn't give Goliath Gaming a chance. Lazarus had some crazy pop-off moments, Sponge had pop-off moments, Squishy's second round attack there on Zarya I think was a highlight for me. Shapeshifter has just been sort of meeting Z-Lord at the Reinhardt table, sort of showing him, you know, I can be aggressive too, I can disrupt your gameplay, I can ruin your plan.
You're not the only aggressive Reinhardt around here.
Exactly. And I think Unidentified are letting their talent leak through. And I don't know if Goliath Gaming has seen the side of them before. I know they've scrimmed in the past, they've played competitively against each other in the past, but I don't think Goliath Gaming has quite seen this side of Unidentified. I don't know if they know how to handle this. But, you know, let's go into map 3. This is my favorite map to watch Z-Lord on. I just think he owns this map. So let's see if they can bring it home.
Let's see what they can do. If you say Z-Lord owns this map, Goliath Gaming will be looking quite strong. Of course, Z-Lord pretty much just behind Lazarus. He is their poster boy for their aggressive play. So seeing what he's able to do here on what I would say is a map that could safely be called his domain.
Yes. And it's my favorite one, your least favorite one, we discussed last time. You don't like Control Center.
Not much at all. When you're playing at the level I play, which is nowhere near as yours. Near as high as yours.
Oh dude, I don't play high level anymore. I'm too bad. You should see me. Come watch my stream. Can you advertise that here? And remember, Sun Phoenix was very clear that it's a garden without an S.
Yes, we will remember the maps this time. And here we go.
See, I don't know about the trade-off for the Hanzo for the Brigitte. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's better or worse. I don't know.
It's quite the uncertain one. Up Z-Lord's aggression showing. Picks up Siggs alongside Lazarus, but he goes down himself. Look at this damage being outputted by Sponge in the backline. Also picking up Lazarus. This is what they need to come back from that. But he's taking so much damage from Griff. Griff wanted none of Sponge on the point there. And the map going over to Goliath Gaming. Not the map, the point. What am I saying?
I really thought Unidentified would have taken that one after winning the ultimate battle. I mean the Reinhardt battle, sorry, not the ultimate battle.
Well, look at this. I say map instead of point. You say ultimate instead of Reinhardt. We're off to a great start with Pac-Man going down so soon. Lazarus so low as well, but he has Riptire. Is he going to want to use it anytime soon? He has to, with the amount of damage Griff is currently taking. But no, Squishy! Denying him that! And getting his own Riptire ready to go. Point going over to Unidentified. Absolutely fantastic.
While Unidentified took that point, I think something they could look into is when you get that first pick, especially a big healer like Moira, sometimes then it's a good time to collapse on the enemy. Oh,
oof! You see, he wanted to catch them out, but it just didn't quite work for him there. Lag Beast closing the door so soon.
Oh, big pick from Makaleli.
Absolutely massive, and also on Lag Beast from Sponge. They're gonna probably have to regroup and get out of there. Lazarus out of position here, just taken out by Sponge. And Squishy doesn't go down even though he's in the trap. Shapeshifter keeping him alive.
Unidentified are being aggressive in their defense. They are not letting Goliath Gaming get close, and I think that, you know, they're not leaving openings for Goliath Gaming to capitalize on. Z-Lord's got to come into this fight.
Here we go. Shapeshifter picking up a really nice Earth Shadow, but not actually converting too much. Z-Lord picking up Sponge in the backline during that fight. Hellhound picking up a lovely Transcendence. Lag Beast following up with another rally. Getting trapped there, but allowing them to get onto the point. Coalescence coming out from Pac-Man, as well as Z-Lord charging it once again. This is so much damage on Shapeshifter and Sigs. And here we have it. GG taking the point back. Although, Sponge picking up Hellhound. Pac-Man as well. How does he get these headshots? What is this man?
Sponge does a lot of work. And see, Hellhound's not going to have his Transcendence coming into this fight. And at 87%, it's almost a map win for Unidentified if they just connect a good combo.
And a good combo is going to come up very soon. Here it is! Here it is! That's the combo they were looking for! Such a smooth landing as well. I don't know, do you think Goliath Gaming was just a bit too grouped up there?
There's nothing you can really do with. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, big stuff.
Absolutely huge stuff. Squishy just ending it off with
Unidentified's composition was just working to their strengths more than the Goliath Gaming's composition was working to the Goliath Gaming strength. If you watched Unidentified, never really looked shaky there. They always looked confident, like they were in the driving seat. And Goliath Gaming showed us some golden moments, but I just don't quite think it was where they needed it to be, especially not against Unidentified. And Lazarus on the Widowmaker map on Garden. Okay, and a solid dive coming from Unidentified. I'm excited.
Lazarus switching over to the Pharah.
Thanks for the assist.
Very solid dive comp, as you said. Squishy over there. We've seen Squishy do some crazy things on this Genji. Can he keep it going? Can he keep it alive as Goliath Gaming go through the back here? He's trying to... Look at this angle Squishy's going in alongside Shapeshifter. Just straight through the back. Lag Beast. Oh, Hellhound's the one to go down though. Oh, that feels so bad. It looks like he just walked into those shurikens there.
I think they need to offer Squishy a little bit more support when he jumps in like that. Not Squishy, Shapeshifter.
Sponge is ready on the pulse bomb, just throws it out. Doesn't manage to get any conversions. Z-Lord landing that Earth Shadow, picking up Shapeshifter, allowing them to probably keep the point a little bit longer. However, once again, Squishy's just going absolutely crazy here. Here we go. Sound barrier from Lag Beast. Can he keep his team alive? We do have Dragon Blade coming out from Squishy. He's looking for it. He takes out Hellhound. He takes out Pac-Man next. That's both their supports. He's going in for even more. And he's looking pretty low himself, but Z-Lord charges in anyways. Can he get Lazarus? He does get Lazarus. Shapeshift also. Primal raging during that.
I can't believe they pulled that one back. I really thought, unidentified should just pull out, try again. They've got a good bank of ultimates because initially Goliath Gaming spent 2 ultimates to keep that point, or to just not let it get captured, and
Yeah.
ultimately lost. Unidentified spent 2 ultimates and kept the point.
Wow,
Ooh,
Sponge!
plays.
So slippery, just dashing in there, getting lag beast, using up the res. And that's an important resource to lose. Lazarus and Pac-Man ready with the Barrage and the Valkyrie. Z-Lord, Hellhound popping into their ultimates as well. Michaelele is the only one left with an ultimate over on Unidentified. Siggs is about to get the self-destruct. And here we go, just only for Shapeshifter. That's, I mean, that happened. Oh, Z-Lord doing a lot of damage. And right away, self-destruct coming through. Doesn't manage to actually get Z-Lord. Doesn't manage to pick up anything. His brawl isn't stopping anytime soon. Squishy wants some more. Grav not allowing for them to continue whatsoever on this point.
Oh no, Siggs. Bit unfortunate. I don't think they needed the Graviton Surge there, but I think at this point they're just going to be happy with the point capture. So they can build it up. Griff's a very competent Zarya. He'll get it back in no time.
No time.
No.
Oh, what happened to Siggs? No!
I think he wants to maybe swap to Zarya, but that's probably not the smartest way to go.
Yeah,
about.
it's exactly what he said. He wants to swap. Probably would have been better if he just went back to the base.
Yeah, I think so too, but hey, maybe I'm wrong.
Who knows? Z-Lord missing a charge there. Sponge on 70%, but Lazarus on the Widowmaker now, looking to apply some action. There's just too many shields in the way. Oh wow, Squishy does go down though. Griff follows up nicely. Sponge, what are you doing? This is fantastic. But Z-Lord doesn't want Sponge anywhere near his point. This is his domain. He's not allowing Sponge anywhere near it. Lazarus trying to heal Squishy in the air there. Can he manage to take him out? Oh, that's such a... And there we go! That was the calm before the storm, picking up Squishy! Ah, just getting more damage in! Z-Lord ready
But I
with the
mean-
Earth Shadow.
They kind of know Lazarus is there, and I think they need to play around his positioning, which they aren't.
Dragon Strike still managed to do things as well as Shapeshift, coming with the Earth Shadow, allowing Sponge and Michaelele just to pop off completely. Here we have it, they take it back.
Lazarus is a serious Widowmaker. Squishy's showing us he can do it too, but Lazarus is pulling off these god shots.
Here we go, Dragon Strike right through the center, picking up Pac-Man. This is great for them, and just a lot of trades going through here. Transcendence going off as well from Michaelele, just trying to keep this point going a little bit longer. And there's not a comp. is with these sonic arrows, making sure he knows what's happening.
5, 4, 3.
I see, I like Squishy over here on the Junkrat. I think he's going to be applying a lot of pressure, especially with Lag Beast over there on the Brigitte.
Stop the payload.
Squishy's
Asgardian
nice.
on the Diva as well. What can Lazarus do? There's just that shield that's not allowing Lazarus much leeway at all. Ooh, Lazarus not getting that grappling hook right.
I think Unidentified could benefit from a far here. I mean, Goliath Gaming. Something that can deal a bit more damage.
Just look at that shield coming from Shapeshifter, stopping all of Lazarus's attempts to take out Sponge, and really allowing Sponge to just get so much damage in as well. Oh wow! No! Caught out from Zedlord! What even? That charge gets taken out so quickly as well. Squishy coming with the Riptire. Who's he looking for with this one? Manages to get Griff. At least it's someone. It does delay GG that little bit more. Lazarus is trying to just deal with this. However, he gets Sigs with 2 lovely rotating shots there.
As a Roadhog main, I know that position 6 has been in. You gotta make the choice between healing and reloading, because you don't want to have no weapon when you finish reloading. And sometimes it works in your favor to make that decision to reload then heal. Sometimes it doesn't, as we discovered.
Let's get this payload across the finish line.
Lazarus just trying to get the right positioning in to see where he can bring this one back for GG. Dragon Strike, Squishy in the backline though, and the Dragon Strike onto the point. Oh my word, I did not expect that from Unidentified whatsoever. They are pushing Goliath Gaming back very convincingly. Lag Beast had to use Rally just to get out. This does not allow them to use it in the next push they have. Although Lazarus ready with the Infrasight.
I mean, Squishy coming up on a Riptire, you know, with Junkrat and stuff. Oh,
Lazarus, no! You were so close to taking out Michaelele and just get shut down shortly after. But Z-Lord's running in there, they're down. One of the healers are not there. Pac-Man not quite in the fight. And they are taxing them quite a lot because of that. Here we go,
there's a good
Squishy's
lesson
Riptide.
in not standing on the payloaders right now.
Asgardian living by the skin of his teeth completely, but Squishy going down to Griff. Z-Lord still on the point there. They are disrupting non-stop. Shapeshifters backing out. They are giving them this pointing. Gutbuster needs to do the same before he gets taken out from behind. And there we go, Sponge just lets him get back there, and Griff and Asgardian pushed very far forward. He's trying to apply a bit of pressure.
I
Lazarus,
like the Diva pick. Actually, when I look at it, it's gonna have a good impact in really punishing Mikelele, Squishy, and Sponge if they get out of position. You know, Asgardian's gonna be looking for that.
oh, indeed, but Sponge is the one to take out Lag Beast, as well as such a nice headshot onto Lazarus. Sponge being such a star player.
Sponge really putting on an excellent show for everybody watching. I don't know how many people are watching. This is a lot.
Ooh, but Lazarus returning so nicely to Sponge.
I mean, but the DPS on either side are just showing us such incredible play. They're just showing us such accuracy, positioning.
Absolute finesse, but over here the Asgardian diving in return to Z-Lord's Earth Shadow, but Shapeshifter replies with another one. Knock knock, guess who's here? And he's coming right for them. Lag Beast popping out that rally, trying to keep the rest of the team alive, but just ends up going down himself. He's in too deep and the rest of his team's not there. Pac-Man just letting them take him down. Doesn't want to even try escape there.
Unidentified, I've got to be stressing a little bit here. I think they need to actually work a solution to get around this composition of Unidentified. The Junkrat's slowing them down, the Roadhog's just disrupting. And I think they need to actually try counter this.
Especially with Sponge and these Dragon Strikes always picking up one key player. It's all they really need in a lot of occasions. And Zlord going down to Squishy's a fantastic Riptire. Lagbeast on the point from the back line. Sigs doesn't want that there. Lazarus using the infrasight picks up Mikulele with such a nice headshot. Oh, can he bring it back? Oh, it doesn't manage to get Gutbuster. Sigs pulls him in and he gets taken down. Lagbeast just dueling with Squishy right now. I don't think he wants to be doing this, especially after being trapped in a whole hog. Going off during this fight from Sigs, not allowing GG to progress any further than where they are right now. There you have it. 60 seconds left on the clock. We hear it from the announcer, you hear it from us. This is match point for Unidentified if Goliath Gaming can't push this all the way.
Goliath Gaming have got to be stressing a little bit. This is not a position they wanted to find themselves in. You know, if you got another map in hand, it's not end of the world.
Here you can see Sponge just focusing both sides at the same time. Don't like the position of Pac-Man there, and he does get taxed for it. Getting taken down quite easily from Sponge's accuracy. You can't play around with this man on the Hanzo.
Yeah, but Goliath Gaming aren't really doing anything to counter this comp. If you look at what's been happening, they've been running the same strategy for almost their entire time back.
Asgardian picking up Squishy's Riptide there, but it's not going to be enough. Although, actually, wait a second. We have Lagbeast and Zlord Griff going back on. Pac-Man with the Valkyrie. I thought this was over, but Goliath Gaming doesn't want any of that. Sponge trying to do as much as he can from the backline here with Sigs left on the point.
Okay, Goliath Gaming have stabilized.
Oh wow, Lazarus taken out whilst on the trace of their Sponge from the top here. Pac-Man's going to be able to pick that one off. Doesn't manage to take Pac-Man out, even though he got a headshot. Wasn't charged up enough. And here we go, Dragon Strike onto the point. Goliath Gaming are going to have to back off from that. But they do get Earth Shattered on the point there. We have Self-Destruct coming in. And there we go, Lazarus using the Pulse Bomb to take out Shapeshifter. The Self-Destruct didn't do too much coming out from there as Guardian. And Sigs is on the point there. Goliath Gaming once again keeping it for just a little bit longer. They might be able to push this a little bit further, and that's what they want right now. They want this bit of hope, and they have another minute and a half to take this after being in overtime.
Sorry, I have two kittens climbing up my leg.
Would you really want it any other way? Watching a match like this whilst being assaulted by kittens sounds fantastic. Lazarus pesky on the Tracer. Probably needs to find a bit of a backline entrance just to get their support, just so that they cannot pressure anymore. But Squishy with Riptire, Sigs with the whole hog, getting such a nice pull on Lagbeast, pulling him completely out of position. And here comes the whole hog, going for Zlord, gets stunned out of it by Lagbeast. Can Lazarus bring this one back? We have a tie, picking up Pac-Man, which is really something that Unidentified wanted right now. Gutbuster keeping the rest of the team alive, and this is not looking good for GG at all. They probably need to get back here. Shapeshifter is back up, coming in from Gutbuster's resurrection here. And Lagbeast taken down. Can they bring it back in the next 30 seconds? They need to push so quickly. Luckily, Griff is on the Lucio. Is probably going to be using the speed boost just so they can get in on it. 15 seconds on the clock as of right now.
Yeah, I hope Goliath Gaming can pull something back. I hope Asgardian can pull something with his Diva Bomb.
Now Self-Destruct is going to be up any second now. He goes to the backline. He wants to find a nice position to use this. However, he's met with a bunch of them. Lazarus picking up Sponge. This allows them a lot of leeway. This is the space they needed. And Mikulele goes down the backline as well to the Asgardian. Shapeshifter left alone here. Gutbuster a bit out of position. Does manage to get back into position though. Keeping Shapeshifter alive. This is the dream. Staying alive just a bit longer. Zlord knocked down from Shapeshifter's Earth Shatter. And here's a Dragon Strike from the backline coming in from Sponge. That picked up so many and allowed space for Shapeshifter to just go absolutely ham with the hammer. Lazarus takes him down though, and Goliath Gaming pushing just a little bit further. Mikulele and Sigs going there, manages to miss. No, Lazarus missed the pulse bomb. Didn't manage to get back onto the point there. Unidentified take it.
Sponge and its positioning. It's unfortunate because they had this. Goliath Gaming they turned it around at the end there, and it really looked like they had that fight. But
Absolutely.
then, when Sponge got revived, that's kind of when things fell apart. Him and Shapeshifter, I mean, he took out 2 heroes, basically.
That's not what they wanted whatsoever. Oh no! Here we have it. I must say, I'm completely impressed. The only reason why I'm saying oh no is because I thought that Goliath Game had brought it back there. They were so close to bringing it back to what they wanted. But it just slipped through their fingers there with such good play coming from Unidentified.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put that one down to a bit of inflexibility from us. I mean, not Unidentified, Goliath Game.
From Goliath Gaming, I can
they
agree
didn't
with you
adapt
there.
well. They weren't able to assess their problems. I mean, it literally took them till their overtime for them to make a swap, and then they immediately got the point. You know, after changing something up, actually trying to counter what Unidentified were throwing at them.
Yeah.
A bit upsetting, because I was really hoping for a map 5. I mean, amazing for Unidentified. I think they're going to walk away from this win so happy. This, you know, this was
Definitely.
one of the 3 hardest challenges.
And they managed to really bring it back when they needed to. Unidentified looking so confident throughout all 4 of those maps, taking 3 in a row after Goliath Gaming took the first one.
I think. I'm sorry, continue.
No, over to you. I was actually just going to say I'm a bit speechless with how that went.
Again, I'm gonna have to put it down to inflexibility. They have Goliath Gaming have everything required to beat Unidentified. They got coordination, they got organization, they got mechanical skill. I don't know what they ran the same comp that was not looking good for about 6 minutes or 5 minutes before they made a swap. And you know, I think whoever calls in that is to make that call sooner, especially when something hasn't been working for that long within that round. And you know, Unidentified finished that map with, you know, in lightning speed. They had almost 3.5 minutes at the end of it.
Yeah.
And you know, Unidentified. I think Goliath Gaming at that point needs to turn around and pick a more aggressive strategy. Pick something you can really just jump forward with. You know, maybe even try dive. Try something with a Thara. They also, you know, weren't doing enough damage. They had Diva Reinhardt and they had Widowmaker, so they really weren't getting that much damage in.
Yeah,
And, you know,
damage
the
wasn't
DPS
enough.
were mostly uncontested, with the exception of Lazarus. He was you know, making sure the DPS couldn't do what they want. But for the most part, that round they kind of did.
I must say also something to point out there, Shapeshifter's shield was denying Lazarus so much. I actually expected Lazarus to possibly switch over to something else a little bit sooner with the amount of pressure that Shapeshifter put onto Lazarus in the way that whenever Lazarus was in the air, I would say about 7 to 8 times out of 10, as soon as he goes in the air, Shapeshifter is there to block whoever he's targeting with his shield, keeping Michaelele up as well as keeping up Sponge, allowing for a lot of pressure coming from them. So it was quite a difficult one.
Dude, I was told that the stream died.
That's not very good.
Oh no, it's still it looks like it's still live. Yeah, this is fine.
It should still be up. But
yeah, I mean, this was a great game to watch. Oh, dude, I think I was muted. Am I still muted?
No. Picking up everything you're saying.
Okay, cool. No, I think, yeah, again, I'm not quite sure how this fell apart for Goliath Gaming. Well played, Unidentified. They came in, they knew what they wanted to do from the beginning, and they executed it brilliantly. They were flexible, they were clinical. They had some shaky moments like King's Row, where I don't think they followed up. They didn't claim their kills quite as well as they could have, but I think on their other maps they were exceptional. They were on Route 66. They were unplayable from Goliath Gaming perspective.
Completely. I think they also hit Goliath Gaming quite hard in the previous 2 matches the previous two maps, hitting their confidence a little bit and really upping their own, which is super,
Yeah.
super important. As you said, this is one of the most important matches they have in Premier Division. With them being one of the top 4 teams and the only other 3 teams above them being their targets, they've just taken out one of them now, which is looking very good for them. I think to take away from Goliath Gaming, adaptability and not letting that tilt hit you. Of course, we don't have their comms. We don't know if they were tilted there, but I think playing to win a little bit more, switching it up, trying to go for it as much as they can would have been important, especially with the way their team composition, they kept hitting a bit of a brick wall there. They were backed off, they had to back off multiple times when the clock was ticking. So both teams have a lot to take away from this, and it was an absolutely fantastic match with all the way up to map 3. It felt like it was almost as if that was the deciding match with the way that the teams are playing. 4th map, I must say, Unidentified looked extremely good against Goliath Gaming there. But
Goliath Gaming looked a bit tired. Sorry.
They did. No, definitely. I think you're right there. They did look a little bit exhausted from the amount of power they put out in the previous maps. And at the end of the day, Unidentified take it 3-1 against Goliath Gaming. But before we wrap anything up, I just want to know from your side, who do you think deserves the MVP?
Crisis. I think I have to give it to Sponge. I think Sponge was just a clear MVP for me. Lazarus popped off, Squishy popped off, Shapeshifter and G-Lord were doing so well. But I think specifically this round-up, Sponge was just non-stop pressure.
Definitely, and I must say, I can't wait until I can give it to a support. And there were so many cases there where I was like, oh my word, you can really see Michael playing to his outs on the Zenyatta. I want to give it to him. I wanted to give it over to Z-Lord a few times as well for such nice picks and really good shatters as well.